But I have a surprise for you. I intend to send my Minister of Energy to Grenada because I'm being told that Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon field. So shall we explore that?
The way the energy sector works is that right now there are no proven reserves. There are no proven reserves, meaning it is only when you have proven reserves you can begin to look at how do you commercialize that gas, how do you now produce the gas. So at this stage I would just caution about this concept. Whilst I hope that there are significant hydrocarbon resources, the fact that since 2018 to now there has been no progress on this and that there are no proven reserves with one well being drilled certainly means that it is very, very far from any commercialization. Because first of all, however, the facts are that this one well was drilled in a field called Nutmeg. That one exploration well unfortunately had to be abandoned and has been capped. That is since 2018. I saw it being suggested by the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, as well as her newly appointed Minister of Energy, the Minister Rudal Munilal, the new Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, that they are now going to turn towards Grenada. And the exact words were, Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon deal. I'd just like to offer some cautionary words with respect to this. It was in 2012, a government led by Ms. Persad-Bissessar signed an MOU with Grenada with respect to hydrocarbons, an energy sector development framework agreement in 2012. But in 2018, the NGC went and signed a commercial arrangement with a company called Global Petroleum Group, which was, I believe, a Russian-based company. We negotiated at the time a commercial term sheet for any gas reserves that were found, not gas reserves, any gas that would be produced. So actually arranged and negotiated commercial terms. However, the facts are that this one well was drilled in a field called Nutmeg. That one exploration well unfortunately had to be abandoned and has been capped. That is since 2018. The way the energy sector works is that right now there are no proven reserves. There are no proven reserves, meaning it is only when you have proven reserves you can begin to look at how do you commercialize that gas, how do you now produce the gas. So at this stage I would just caution about this concept. Whilst I hope that there are significant hydrocarbon resources, the fact that since 2018 to now there has been no progress on this and that there are no proven reserves with one well being drilled certainly means that it is very, very far from any commercialization. Because first of all, there are no proven reserves at this stage. You would have to drill more wells. Only after you drill wells, you then do what you call analysis of what is found as a result of those wells, what may be contained in reservoirs. And only after a lot of work and a lot of analysis do you then decide, okay, there are in fact proven reserves or possible reserves there. You would then be required to drill more wells and to move towards negotiations for commercialization. This is also going to be fields that have no close infrastructure nearby. So to commercialize and to bring any such reserves to market is simply not at this stage a feasible concept. You're also now dealing in a world where the truth is there are concepts like floating LNG, where persons, depending on the amount of reservoirs of gas, may very well just put down platforms, extract the gas straight into floating LNG platforms and take the gas elsewhere rather than bringing it via pipeline to onshore. So I am simply cautioning and saying to Trinidad and Tobago at this stage, this is very, very far off from being feasible. In fact, when I was Minister of Energy, I did have conversations with the Prime Minister of Grenada as well as his various ministers, offering for us to utilize whatever expertise we have at the Ministry of Energy to look at the seismic data that may be available. The truth is, the company, the Global Petroleum Group, ran into difficulties. It is not an easy thing. You have to find companies that are going to spend significant sums of money to do the exploration, to do the proving, and then to go through the commercial concepts. The minimum amount of time this can take, if you find significant reserves that make it commercial, would be between 10 to 15 years. Trinidad and Tobago has to look at the short term and the medium term, which is exactly what was being done and should continue to be done. Having said that, looking at the rest of the CARICOM region, in August 2019, the government of Trinidad and Tobago signed an MOU with Barbados focused on energy security, and energy exploration, development, and production in relation to hydrocarbon resources. At the time, the government also asked BHP, the Australian operator that was doing work up in our deep water off of the northeastern coasts of Tobago, to utilize seismic vessels that had come in to look at our deep water, and to utilize those vessels to go on what we call a mission in Barbados's waters, with some fields there that there was a feeling there may be prospects as well. BHP followed and actually did pursue it, thankfully, and BHP did seismic, and that seismic was done at the same time they were doing seismic in Trinidad and Tobago's waters right afterwards. Unfortunately, BHP has exited those fields in Barbados. We continue to have conversation with Barbados. I continue to have discussions. I was looking at trying to persuade other global operators to go in and see to what work they could do in Barbados. It has always been the government's view that we should pursue whatever resources there are within close proximity to Trinidad and Tobago. So BHP exited, and they would only exit because they realized at that time, or for whatever reason, they did not think it was commercial, nor were there the amounts of reserves there.
Hi everyone, thanks for checking out the Bub Report's social media pages. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch our weekly live show, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch repeat episodes on Wednesdays at 4 and 5 p.m. respectively on CRFM Radio and GBN TV in Grenada. We are also viewed on Sundays at 8 p.m. on WPG 10 throughout the Caribbean. Thanks for watching.